We're still continuing our focus on Nigeria's oil and gas sector. Lukman Agbola, acting divisional head at Energy at Diamond Bank, is standing by to look at the oil and gas space with us. Thank you so much, Lukman, for standing by for us. Now, looking at the oil divestments by international oil companies. Now, there have been mixed reactions. We have heard the government say now this is an opportunity for indigenous players to come on board, take some of these assets, and of course, with the overall aim of making profit. But there have been other issues raised: infrastructure, inconsistency in government policies. Just quickly share with us your thoughts on this.
Yeah, well, that's what it's supposed to be, to empower the indigenous entrepreneurs. But of course, in the last 2 years, most of them have not been able to take production from what it was pre-acquisition, and that is a challenge because objectives and plans are not being met with regards to production.
So do you think that this could discourage?
You can imagine a block that has the capacity.
Go ahead, Lukman, I can hear you.
Yeah, you can imagine a block that has the capacity to deliver 50,000 barrels per day, but unfortunately, due to infrastructure challenges and funding challenges, they have not been able to do that. So it is a very, very serious issue. So it means that investments are not being recouped when they ought to have been. So to that extent, we can say it is still a mixed reaction.
So do you think that this would...
The positive sides are there, which is the empowerment.
Okay, now Lukman, let me ask you this. Do you think, is this going to discourage other indigenous players from coming on board? Now, we've seen a local player, local Wando. Wando has very ambitious plans, of course, for the upstream sector. It doesn't seem to have deterred Wando. So your thoughts on that?
Yeah, if you look at Wando has been able to operate in that space as an independent to an extent. And if you look at the assets they are buying from Konoko, it is an asset that has been operated by Ajib currently. So I don't see them being affected by the current divestment, in the sense that they are not likely to have production challenges, unlike the Shell divestments that are being handled by NPDC.
Now, how can the local content development agency, is there anything you think they can do to come into the situation to improve, to see how local or indigenous players can have perhaps a better operating environment, or just basically addressing these issues for them?
Yeah, the law establishing the Nigerian content doesn't give them the power to delve into what is happening in the divestment realm. The NCDs is to look at after Nigerian companies in the service sector and not in the E&P space per se. So, I mean, there is not much they can do to assist them. But of course, I think the investors and NPDC working together should be able to come up with something that's going to be a win-win situation for everybody at the end of the day. That's the way I think it is going to go. Okay, so
should we be looking forward to more divestment? We've seen for the month of between September and October, we've seen Shell have put up 4 oil blocks for sale. Do you see this continuing?
Well, divestment is a matter of demand and supply. You have something to sell, the other guy is willing to buy. But the key question or the key issue here is this: how has the divestments assist us in increasing production, I mean daily production? That's what should be the concern. How do we increase daily production, Nigerian crude oil daily production? That's what the divestments should be looking at, in terms of capacity, local capacity building, as well as funding of those assets. Because just like I said earlier on, it doesn't make any much sense for you to acquire an asset that has the capacity to do 100,000 barrels per day, and just because the funding is not there and the infrastructures are not being put in place, it is doing 10,000, 20,000. That is suboptimal investment allocation. That's what it means.